What's up, guys? Welcome to the Metal Roofing Channel. Today I'm in Detroit at Van Mark with Gary. Thanks for being here, Gary.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So we're going to learn how to use one of your portable sheet metal bending brakes. Yep. 101, we're going to learn how to hem and bend our first piece of flashing. So tell me a little bit about the Metal Master 20, and if I get this into my shop, what are some of the first things I need to do to set it up and be ready to bend?
Gotcha. Okay, this is, again, Metal Master 20, the one that'll bend up to 24 gauge painted steel. When the brake is shipped, it's all in one box. The brake is in there, the handles are off, they're underneath, and the stand is up basically on top. So the first thing you'll do, you'll open the box, you'll take the stand out, you'll set it up, you'll drop the walkboard in. The walkboard is there because your weight is the counterbalance when you're bending heavier metals that'll hold the brake stable. Then you'll put the brake on the stand and you'll put the handles on. The handles just go on with pull pins, so easy to take off and on. Same thing if you're loading it in a truck, you pull 4 pull pins and you can slide it right in the truck.
Gotcha.
Once you've got it set up, it's gonna look basically like this. We've got it with the multi-gauges on there. Pretty basic. Brake opens and closes with the top handle. It's a cam and wedge system, so it's very smooth operation. There's no metal on metal. Wears very well. So basically, you're going to open your brake. You're going to put your metal in. You'd obviously measure this, but I'm going to just guess. When you lock it, don't be shy. Lock that brake. You want to make sure that brake's locked secure. It also, one nice thing of the cam, it will self-adjust. We're using 24 gauge painted here. Let's say we had 29 gauge, a little bit thinner. That brake would self-adjust to lock on that metal.
Gotcha.
So you don't have to change your settings every time you change metals. The number one accessory people buy is the trim cutter. They also buy the multi-gauges. How does the multi-gauge work? It's got a dual function. The first function is, this cuts at 1 1/2 inch from where it locks. This shows you where that cut is. So with a longer piece, you'd line these up to your marks. You'll now come in with the trim cutter. You'll cut that piece of 24 gauge. It gives you a nice clean cut on that metal.
Nice.
The other nice thing, the trim cutter will hang. There's a carry handle on each side of the brake. Conveniently, that will just sit right down and nest on that. So, we've cut that metal off. The very first thing most people want to learn with a bending brake is they want to know how to hem. Okay. So again, I'm going to do a simple hem on the edge. So you take the metal, you line it up right on the front edge, lock that brake down. Again, this walkboard serves as the counterbalance to stabilize that brake. So you're going to bend that. To hem, you'll bend it as far as you can go. You'll open the brake, you'll take that piece of metal back out. You'll drop it into the hemming pocket. With heavier metal, it helps you just preload that hinge a little bit, just pop it up.
Okay.
And that hems, puts a 180-degree bend on that metal.
Nice.
That's the most common thing that anybody would do. Now, I want to do one real quick shape for you here. It's a good common shape. To do that, I'm going to cut that hem off. Okay, real common shape that anybody would want to make would be drip edge. You'll just put the metal in, lock that brake, you'll bend it 90 degrees. Now you're going to flip that metal. Again, you're going to lock it in. You're going to bend it as far as it'll go, which is roughly 150 degrees. You're going to drop it back into that hemming pocket, preload that hinge, and hem that. Again, I'm just estimating on measurements here. You'd obviously measure this before you did it. Lock that brake. This one's roughly a 30 degree. This is a nice place where you could use the multi-gauges. If it's a longer piece, you obviously put them on each end. I want that at 30 degrees. Metal has a little spring back, so you want to test that.
Okay, so you need to overbend it a little bit, is that what you're saying?
Depending on the metal, the lighter the metal, the more it has spring back. So yeah, you'll typically overbend. Kind of a feel thing. You want to do it right to 30. It might come back, and then you just have to tweak it a bit.
Got it.
So now when we've done that, we've just made a drip edge.
Cool.
So really common, easy shape.
Mind if I give hemming a try?
No, let's give it a try.
Sweet. All right, so 24 gauge, so walk me through the steps here.
Okay, again, you would just, you want to go ahead and just open the brake.
Okay.
Now you'll insert the metal. Now if you want to just do a hem on the edge, just bring it right up to the edge of that black strip.
So what's the distance here?
The distance there is 5/8 of an inch.
Okay.
And then once you've got that, go ahead and lock the brake. And again, don't be shy, give it a lock.
Okay.
Now you'll stand on the walkboard, grab both handles, and just bend it as far as it'll go, which is 150 degrees. Now you'll open the brake, slide that back out, lock the brake, and again, drop it into that hemming pocket.
Just like this?
Yep, just like that.
Okay.
And then if you just kind of give that hinge a little pull, there you go, load it, and then pull with the handle, and takes it to the 180. And there's your hem.
Nice.
Pretty good for a first try.
Thanks. So I see that there's a vinyl strip in here. Tell me about this.
Yeah, the vinyl strip is simply there so you don't scratch the paint on the metal.
Okay.
When we get into the maintenance of the brake is very, very simple. You've got a cam and wedge with no metal on metal. The wedges are a high density plastic. Eventually they more compress than wear, but it's not uncommon for us to talk to people who've had these brakes 10, even 20 years, and they've never adjusted their wedges. If they ever do need to, it's a very easy Phillips head screwdriver. The vinyl is what I equate to changing the oil on your truck. It's there so you don't scratch the paint on your coil. It's its only function. UV light will sometimes harden it, and it might get a little brittle. You might get a little nick in it, and you don't want to scratch the paint, obviously, so you just want to keep an eye on that.
Sure.
What's easiest is just once in a while, just run your hand down it. See, oh, I got a nick there. You can sometimes file them out, but again, replacing it maybe every 6 months to a year. I've seen people go 2-3 years. Again, if the brake is outside a lot in the sun, it's gonna
Makes sense.
It's gonna harden more.
Sure.
If it's in a shop or in the back of a truck, cube van, it's gonna last longer. Or just feet of metal bent sometimes.
Yeah.
It's an inexpensive fix, and we also have videos on our website of how to take care and to replace that.
Sweet. So when I'm using this brake, what are some safety things that I need to keep in mind?
Really, safety, because it's all manually operated, the brake's not gonna do anything without you. The only real safety feature is kind of don't put your hands in the brake and lock it. Other than that, there's really nothing that you can do safety-wise.
Okay.
Again, a very simple process: open, close, bend.
And when I'm bending metal here, I take a tape measure and I measure out my sides, make sure it's even. Is that how people typically do it? What does that look like?
Yeah, we do put a tape measure on the brake. I've seen people use that quite a bit, but I think I go with what my father taught me: measure twice, cut once. Most people I think are going to have a tape measure. They're going to double check, make sure, especially when you're dealing with a longer piece.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to get it a 1/4 inch off and bend it, and now you've ruined an expensive piece of metal.
For sure. So in our next video, we're going to talk a little bit about some more advanced bends, and we're going to look at Sheffield Metals details and see how to bend some actual details that we see on the field with our customers. So
Perfect.
Gary, thanks so much.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
If you have any questions, comment down below. Stick around for our next video. As always, I'm Barnette. We'll catch you next time.